జాతీయ విద్యా విధానం 2020 డిఎన్ఏ లాంటిదని జాతీయ పాఠశాల ప్రభుత్వ కార్యదర్శి సంజయ్ కుమార్ పేర్కొన్నారు. ఆయన నెల్లూరు కస్తూర్బా కళాక్షేత్రంలో 2020 జాతీయ విద్యా విధానంపై చర్చించారు. ఈ కార్యక్రమంలో ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ రాష్ట్ర కార్యదర్శి ప్రవీణ్ ప్రకాష్, జిల్లా కలెక్టర్ హరినారాయణ తదితరులు హాజరయ్యారు. ఈ సందర్భంగా జాతీయ విద్యా విధానాలపై చర్చించారు.
Yes, I know. His principal, he was assistant wala. And he developed.
Remedial action for the class. So we have uploaded 140 posters.
Supporting vocational enjoy. X you give them 5 days. Vikas, where are you from, Vikas? She's a trainee. Partnering with you?
Yes, sir, in California.
Formative assessments that help.
Basic course of this. The grade sir.
We take the children there, every township. We take at least 400. That's small size and big size for the.
District Education Office in the respective place. Sending over here. As a director and district magistrate, let us join.
You know, on a personal note, I must say that I always love coming to Andhra Pradesh. I like the food, but more than that, I like the warmth of the people. I may not speak Telugu, but when I hear the girls sing Vande Mataram, we're all united in our minds and in our hearts. I also discovered yesterday, when I was talking to the principal secretary, that Sri Raghalu Potti is also from Nellore, the man who changed the map of India. He fasted for 56 days, gave up his life, but then that persuaded the government of India to set up the State Reorganization Committee. And language came back in the framing and map of these states. So Andhra was created for Telugu, Maharashtra was bifurcated between Gujarat, Maharashtra, changed the map. Language came back to us, and we all know that language is something which is very emotive. But the beauty of this country is that no matter how many different languages we speak, yet culturally we are united. So I, a guy who is from Patna, I feel at home when I go to Tirupati. I feel at home when I am in Rameshwaram. Or wherever as a matter of fact is. And that's the great uniting power of the Indian culture, that it keeps a diverse nation like India together. In school education, I must say that this is a very exciting time to work. Not only for us, who are the government of India, but also for all the people who are in the state, because actual schooling management is being done by the state governments. We, the Government of India, we oversee, we provide some kind of an overall guidance. We have a school, we have a centrally sponsored scheme, Samagra Shiksha, we have Pradhan Mantri Poshan Yojana, we have National New India Literacy Mission, which we call Ullas. These are some of the schemes, but the most important thing which has happened is the National Education Policy of 2020. It is the DNA of the Indian society. How we are going to shape up, and as the Honorable Prime Minister says, that the next 25 years ahead of India are the most important, because by 2047, when we celebrate our 100th year of independence, we should do so as a developed nation, where every child is educated, where every child has a job, and where everyone lives comfortably. That is the dream of all of us. What are we doing under the National Education Policy? I think you showed me a lovely video on foundational literacy and numeracy as to what all Andhra Pradesh is doing for foundational studies. We must begin early. We must send our children to Anganwadi schools at the age of 3. And this has to be worked out. And many of us who be part of the government, we also know that in the government, some of the most difficult things to do are when two departments come together. So there is Anganwadi centers which is being run by ICDS. There are the schools which are being run by Department of School Education. And our children have to do 3 years in the Anganwadi centers and then join class 1 at the age of 6 and then continue till class 12. Dr. Saklani, being the director of NCERT, they have developed the National Curriculum Framework for Foundational Studies. They have also developed the National Curriculum Framework for School Education. And NCERT is now in the business of making the syllabus for every class. Once the syllabus is made, then the textbooks will be constructed. And I use the word constructed. As of now, the NCERT books which you see in the market, they are all printed in the year 2006. National Education Policy also says that there should be no hardcore separation in many things which we do in school. So there should not be any hardcore separation in humanities, science, sports, art, and vocational education. If you ask me what are my concerns as the Secretary of the Department of School Education, I would say I have many concerns, but let me share some of them. Out of every 100, I'm giving you all India figures, state figures may vary. Out of every 100 students who are joining in class 1, only 75 are going to class 10. And only 56 are going to class 12. I am losing 44 students in the journey from class 1 to 12. This is my major concern. The National Education Policy says that by 2030, the GER of secondary education should be 100. There should be no dropouts. Can any country has done it? I was looking at the figures. Japan has a figure of 97. So 100 is my target, but I think anything more than 90 we can do by 2030, a little beyond that, I think will make us feel very proud as an Indian that we, being part of the school education, we have done a good job. But then how do you do it? Our schools have to become very attractive, and I'm happy to see Nadani. You are improving the infrastructure of the school. You know, how do you send a child to a school? You can push a child to a school, or the school can act as a magnet. It it can pull the student towards itself. Both need to be done. In the first place, I might want to push the student, but the school must have enough to. Then we are making life comfortable for our students. I was happy and impressed to see the exhibition which you have put up just outside this hall, showcasing all the nice things and all the meaningful things being done by the government of Andhra Pradesh for its school children. You are giving them school dress, you are giving them shoes, you are giving them free books. I saw the principal secretary saying that no child should actually sit on the floor. You know, in India, even today, almost 40 children out of every 100 who are going to elementary schools are sitting on the floor. We must do something about it. And I always joke, you see, that we in India may have the luxury of many things. We do not have the luxury of time. What others may have done in 20 years, I need to do it in 5 years. And we have the capacity to do it. We have the motivation and we have the inspiration of the leadership which is asking us to do these things. The second thing which I want to tell you is that for me it's a challenge. How do I incorporate vocational education in our school system? We don't want to work with hands, or at least a lot of people don't want to work with hands. We need to start creating this coordination between the minds and the hands. Those of you who are experts, you will call it psychomotor skills. Hand and brain has to go together and we must work with hands. And NEP says that from class 6 onwards, our children should start getting practice with working with hands. Develop the kind of skills which I have.
We prepared a school, we prepared a foundation stage, and that was, dedicated to the nation last year. And last year itself, on 20th October, we dedicated that school education, national curriculum foundation stage in the nation. Our Honorable Education Minister released that. After that, NCERT started working on that from the implementation point of view, and we developed learning teaching material that is very holistic. And as for NEP 2020, it is joyful. Joyful pedagogy, stress-free learning. We brought out a box that is called Jadoo Pitara. Jadoo Pitara is a concept. It has so many games, toys, flashcards, story cards. Why this Jadoo Pitara has been there? As NCERT also built a capacity building program for the dissemination of Jadoo Pitara from all states and NCERTs, and competency building program was done by NCERT for taking this point ahead. This is very important to understand because we have to shift away from the rote learning process and the colonial education policy. This is the first step to decolonize ourselves right from the beginning. Foundational stage is very, very important stage. If we have strong foundations, only then we can build upon that strong structures and powerful structures. The structure of education has to change. As we know that NEP has mandated that we have to ensure the Bharat India-centric education. That is the first philosophical shift from the earlier policy. So let us root ourselves in our own culture. Let us think about our own nation first. Let us produce.
To go and write civil services, or most of us who are generally good in academics decide to go abroad for the training. So most of us, that's the way the journey of an IAS officer is. Sanjay sir is one of the rare IAS officer India has produced, who after graduation went abroad for the higher studies. But like the way we have seen the movie Swadesh, when the Shah Rukh Khan decided that after seeing America he comes back and then said he will serve the country. Sir, after doing a higher education abroad in the United States, came back, wrote IAS, and got into the IS, and he's serving for the last 2 years. He's from 1990 batch, I was Chief Secretary Sir's batch, and the last 30 or 32 years he's serving. Sir has been very structured, systematic, very kind to all of us. You must not be knowing, but the headquarters staff know, but the school staff, they must not be knowing. Every month, he takes us for a video conference and give us all opportunity to represent the issues which we have related to not only the department, the centrally sponsored scheme program, but also about the different aspects of education department which may not be covered in the Samagra Shiksha or PM Motion or that adult education program, things like the board reforms, assessment, curriculum, whatever is there in the national education policy. So every month, sir does this program for us, and every 3 months he calls all of us to physically for a meeting, and there's a long whole month. Needless to say that sir is available to us. Whenever I have message to sir, WhatsApp to sir, within 30 seconds, I have taken liberty from you, sir, to messaging you sometimes on Sunday morning, late Saturday evening also, and sir message. So always your inspiration, you are there, we get this confidence that you are there, support there, any guidance which is required. So thanks for being with all of us, sir. And before sir, your speech, sir, I'll just highlight few points. I have been telling you about all these points which the government of Andhra Pradesh, the big transformation which has started in government of Andhra Pradesh, sir, in early 20, and it was the way that our transformation which we are doing is exactly alignment of what the National Education Policy 2020, and that's the reason we are getting a lot of support from government of India, sir. Next. I will just highlight, you know most of it, sir. Next slide. Slide there. Then all of us are committed, sir, in the country and also in the state also. We are also committed to the vision of national education policy. It says to instill among the learners a deep-rooted pride in being Indian, not only in thought, but also in spirit, intellect and deeds, as well as to develop knowledge, skills, values and dispositions that support responsible commitment to human rights, sustainable development and global well-being, thereby reflecting a truly global citizen. So all the policies of our state government is committed to the vision of national education. Every classroom in Andhra Pradesh, this 21st December is like our deadline, sir. We have 62,000 classrooms from class 6 to 12 in government schools and colleges. All will have this interactive flat panel, 65 inch with internet connectivity in the best country. And every child, sir, we have institutionalized this program. Every student who comes to class 8, everybody in government school gets this personalized digital device, which is anytime, anywhere access, 24/7 access for the students. Next. This is what we are committed. Sir, we also used BharatNet very effectively to get this robust, reliable internet connectivity to all our 6,000 or 6,500 high schools. Next. Next. Sir, the one thing which we think we are like on the curve, we are ahead of other states is these staffs and the e-content teacher uses in the morning time for clearing the doubts and teaching. Even if the child sees the same e-content, is also given an artificial intelligence doubt clearance app. And this doubt clearance artificial intelligence app is trained in such a manner that if a student asks any question other than the subject, the app or the artificial intelligence tutor say, I am a physics tutor, I am a chemistry tutor, I am a biology tutor, I will not support, I will not advise you anything except my subject. So the whole thing that IT, this digital technology can take the student to some other direction, that also can take place. Next. So these are the AI tutors. Next. We also are, sir, we had a discussion with Duolingo, sir, which is a company quoted by a professor from CMU, and it's the most used app in the world right now for learning the language. Around currently 5 crore globally users are learning the language. So idea is that we want is foreign language learning in the remote areas and rural areas.